comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me, as always, is Ben Slinger.
Hello, Trevor.
Hello, welcome from your office again. You've invited me over.
Me to my own office. It's in a little bit of shambles this week, but we're doing it again because we like hanging out together because we're friends.
We do. I mean, we were thinking about recording a little video project, but I'm like, no, I need a hang sesh.
To be determined when we do that, but yeah, that'll be a bit of fun. We'll let everyone know when it's out.
If it's out.
If it pans out.
But I think today what we'll do is just classic click pitch, just one word from a random word generator that will each click refresh on the count of 3 to 1 click. We'll get those words, we'll throw them at each other. We'll, make a game design, talk about some game stuff, maybe talk about some AI stuff because that's in my mind right now.
In our minds, yeah. We've both had our little side projects
with
and things.
Brushes with enemy AI. And then, when that's all over, then I guess we'll click again and we'll keep on doing that for just over half an hour.
Yeah, around about that. Let's do it.
So 3 to 1 click.
Aim.
Smiling.
Okay. You're having to aim your smiles to bring
creep people out.
Well, maybe it can be either, depending on the, tenor of your smile. It doesn't really work for visuals, maybe, but it's the word that came to mind.
It's not really a smile, it's a smize.
You have to determine if it's a smile or a smize. But maybe it can be, maybe based on context or something, it can be cast as creepy. Don't smile at the woman breastfeeding, but do smile at the postie who came and delivered your mail
and didn't get bitten by a dog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if they did get bitten by a dog, don't
maybe laugh.
Smile. Maybe laugh at their misfortune.
It's called Schadenfreude.
This could be one of those one-button games.
Smile or not,
it's.
The aim of the game
is to smile.
Is to smile in the right circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
And everything is not the right circumstance to ever smile.
You said there's only one. You got to figure out the one.
You get negative scores for everything except for that one.
No, I think, and the aim could come into it and maybe you don't have control over where you're aiming, but it's almost a first person sort of view, and you get to a new place and you're scanning, you're looking around back and forth, and it's whatever's in your field of view, or even if they're looking at you, should you be smiling in that situation? And then they'll react.
I don't know. Now I'm just looking backwards and forwards. I'm literally thinking you're one of those laughing clowns, and you see a kid come up and you hit the smile button and you freak him out.
Yeah, because
it's instead of the big O mouth, you've now got this massive smile on your face, and because you're literally a laughing clown.
Yeah.
That they've been put it.
Yeah. No, I know the clown. I mean, I think that's almost a different game. That feels like a horror thing. Because now I'm just picturing coming up to one of those fucking things, and right as you go to put a ball in its mouth, it
closes and smiles.
And smiles is oh, fuck.
I mean, whose fucking idea was it to make those fucking laughing clowns that you put a fucking ping pong ball in? What?
And also, how many times
trying to choke a clown?
And also, how long do you think until someone put their dick in that fucking clown's mouth?
30 seconds.
Yeah, I think that's actually probably its initial intention.
And it's yes, boss. This is the new carnival game. You put your balls. I mean, you put a ball in. And the boss just smiles. And 3, 2, 1, click. And he aimed it right at you.
We could have gone somewhere different with aiming and sexy sex-based carnival games, but anyway.
Yeah.
Let's not. Fighter.
18. So it's barely legal fighting. At least that's what I got from 18.
Yeah.
Or there's 18 fighters. I mean,
maybe you're controlling 18 separate limbs.
It's an alien fighter, and you just come up with different limb names.
Left leg, right leg, left reg, right reg.
Ram.
The ram and the lam, and the llama and the rama, the ramen.
And the rameg.
And the ramen. And the rama lama ding dong. And the llama ding dong, because that's the left side. No, okay, maybe there's 18 people ahead of you in this tournament. Like you have to beat 18 different opponents.
Well, I'm thinking
make your way up the ladder.
What you've got to do, it's like one of those sort of Dark Soulsian games where you got to watch and see, what are the move sets and all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, you don't get to see it while you're fighting. You only get to see what other people.
Oh, you have to watch them their other fights to figure out their moves,
and then you get one shot.
Chance. Otherwise, you roll the way back to the bottom of the ladder, baby, and then we randomize the moves.
Exactly.
Yeah, that could be cool. I also was thinking, and just because we were talking of the Shadow of games, with the lovely patented
friendship
Nemesis
system.
Nemesis system. Our version is the friendship system. That could be an interesting thing in this sort of,
okay, yeah,
like contemporary fighting game, or maybe like 80s inspired potentially. I feel like that's like the key, the dramatization of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
I've also been watching Cobra Kai, the latest season. So
I have not. I'm at a point now that I haven't actually seen any of it. I'm like, you know what? It's nearly finished. Yeah. I'm nearly at the point where
definitely
I can actually
wait till
binge.
It's done. Yeah. Apparently, I think they're releasing this season in 2 halves, and it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger. So I've only watched the first couple of episodes. It's a good show, though. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think that could be interesting to have that sort of nemesis kind of thing where depending on
the first person that you beat in the tournament becomes your nemesis from then on.
Yeah. And because of the way that the tournament works, like you end up refighting the same people or like.
It's round robin at the start.
Yeah, exactly. And you even bring in Karate Kid style stuff, like it's building up to, the big tournament or whatever. And who you fight there depends entirely on the sort of relationships you've built
and the results that you've had through the previous ones. Like you may have lost narrowly to someone in the past, and it's like, okay, you got through into the next round because of plot armor or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the idea that, that sort of plays out, or what injuries you actually sustained during that plays out in now you've got a slightly weaker arm or something like that.
Essentially we're trying to build the Karate Kid, situation, but come at it dynamically.
Yeah.
And I mean, there could even be opponents that you have a grudging respect for. Like, it doesn't have to be that everyone who's beaten you or you've beaten, like, hates you or whatever, depending on certain personality traits and different things. It could be like, oh, like, good fight. And then there's the
mutual respect and they'll back you when, such and such attacks you in the car park.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Like, yeah, that's it. If you have those sorts of things as well.
Because I love the idea of, you play out the in-between moments as well.
Well, particularly those sorts of things where, and again, the Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, the relationships there, and even to the point of someone who initially started off as an enemy, you end up teaming up with them against like a greater enemy or something, or like you sort of bring them over to your side. Like those sorts of relationship shifts are really fun and interesting especially if they're playing out dynamically in that way.
I don't know why, but my mind is set back to like 2004 when like there was that boxing EA's.
Oh, like Fight Night?
Fight Night.
Yeah.
Where it did have a career mode and all that sort of stuff. And I'm thinking, what if it was more of a sort of, karate or whatever, more of a Street Fighter-esque fighter, but more just with actual moves and nothing magical, because you don't need that. But just being able to have it more about blocking and countering and with the right you have to use your arm to block this one, and then a kick is coming in, so you want to check it with your leg or something like that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the challenge is going to be making those sorts of mechanics fun. Like, there's been a ton of different fighting games that try to do different things. But I agree. I feel like there have been too few that have focused on kind of the mechanics of fighting rather than the very like Street Fighter-ish, like just, being able to button mash and.
Yeah. I mean, you almost want to take away from that button mash thing and have it more about, here's the rhythm.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a rhythm fighter from a point of view of to actually fight. If you mash and you keep on hitting the buttons, then it's going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. Whereas
that's
if you
and they can just block them, like, because you're essentially projecting, you're not doing anything special. You're just flailing by button mashing.
It's that whole thing of windmill arms.
I'm going to walk towards you.
Yeah, I'm going to start kicking. Okay, Pie, I'm going
to start moving my mouth like this.
We don't even have to say the whole thing. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows where that's where that comes from.
Any pre-season 10
episode I can do that with.
Like everyone knows it. All the way to the very recent year of 25 fucking years ago when season 10 came out.
Okay, so I love the idea that this is unlike, a Mortal Kombat tournament or something like that, which no one knows how the fuck that ever works because supposedly, the Mortal Kombat tournament, you fight everyone and no one else fights each other.
Yeah.
It kind of doesn't make sense. The idea of having, other
absolutely,
fighters fighting
because
each
that
other.
really brings in that Nemesis system side of things of, you can go out to the like broader view and you can see, these guys fought and this person won and like this person's coming up the ladder and they were an underdog but they've managed to beat all these people. And particularly if you can then reveal that in interesting ways.
Maybe he trains at the same place that you train. And
Or it's just when it's your turn to fight him, because I'm picturing that you do the sort of different clubs and as they build up to the big, national tournament or something, they're having all these matches between each other to sort of local face-offs and different things. And also, the out of dojo stuff of the rivalries coming out and playing out.
Having actually done martial arts myself, one of the things that happen at a lot of these tournaments is also a kata or a sort of form.
Yep. Form. They just score you on your form. Basically, you're not.
Yeah. Imagine that, but in like basically a rhythm sort of thing that you could have, okay. And now you get judged up against everyone else, making sure that you've got everything clean with your blocks and all this sort of stuff and hitting them at the right time and hitting them with force and maybe having a chi meter or something like that you can, do the ki,
Yeah, you can absolutely build that up and have it. Yeah, as you build whatever your focus or your chi or different, however you want to take that. I know that different martial arts treat that in different ways. But then how well you do on that just plays into other things. And I love the idea of being blindsided. You've been, you're nearly at the final match. You've been working with this other dojo, but there's like one guy who's this real asshole. You've beaten him a few times. You can tell he's getting really shitty. You're in the middle of your kata and he attacks you. Like it's completely out of the blue. It's not part of a tournament or whatever. He's just like, nah, fuck this. Just like comes in. And you've played the whole game up to this point with the fights and the katas being completely separate and completely different things. And you just find yourself in the middle of a fight.
You find yourself in the middle of the fight, but if you actually remember the kata and you do it in the same thing, you happen to block and punch and all this other stuff.
That's pretty good.
And it's like, because
the crowd's just going wild.
Typically what a kata is actually a predetermined fight.
Oh yeah.
And these are the moves that you did in this fight to actually beat off all these people. The fact that you actually bring that in at the end of this thing, and if you keep your cool that, that you got to do with the kata and keep the breathing and keep hitting these things, you hit all these points.
That's pretty good.
And beat them to a pulp, basically.
And particularly if you've surprised them, and particularly, if you've made the player do it a bunch of times to the prompts up until this point, and then you surprise them with this and they have to follow the same thing that they've been doing, but without the prompts, and it's the fight playing out in front of them, that's really cool.
And it's, I know that would just be such a cool moment, especially if, you can go back into standard fighting, but if you just happen to go with the same things, it's almost like, one of those Mario levels where, if you just held B and ran, it's an auto level sort of thing. It's that sort of thing that once you find out that, I could have just continued along hitting my button prompts.
Well, and you could have your coach or your like sensei or whatever, like yelling it out, like, remember your kata or whatever. It's like, oh shit. Like, and maybe you can get back into it. Even if you've fallen out of it into regular fighting and you're getting the shit kicked out of you, it's like, oh no, okay, just start. And even like, particularly if it's a repetitive thing, like, all right, keep this going. You just have to go on the rhythm and get the buttons right. And
you almost see, rather than getting that meter that, because I'm imagining it's just with the breathing. Yeah. And it's just sort of like you're hitting on, breath in and then out and then up. And there's something about that. And, then a kick, and you just have that sort of last kick that comes through, hits him in the stomach, knocks him back, and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, absolutely. It's basically the fucking sweep the leg,
part of the first fucking film, which is still one of the best films. Like,
I was never huge in the Karate Kid movies, but it is really fun watching Cobra Kai and having like the original cast from such an old, 30, 40 years on.
The funny thing is, after watching, after watching How I Met Your Mother and all that sort of stuff, it really did sort of make me think about the movie differently. Because when I went back and watched it, I'm like, Daniel's a real asshole, and he's not really the protagonist of this thing. Sure, Johnny was a bit of a dick, but he was, Daniel coming in and saying all this stuff, and sort of like they were both just misunderstood teens, and Daniel took it too far in some part.
Which is what makes Cobra Kai compelling, so good, right? Yeah. Because they're still dealing with the aftermath of that. All right, 3, 2, 1, click.
3, 2, 1, click. Shy.
Warranty.
Okay. For some reason, I want this game to be all about getting the courage to go and, put in a warranty claim.
So something's broken.
And it's kind of like, we were talking last week about it, the David, the quantic dream sort of thing.
Cage stuff,
Just going through and sort of going through emotions to try and get up that courage to leave the house.
Interesting, it could be an interesting exploration of anxiety, social anxiety, the different things that it's like, oh, okay, maybe if I write a script for it to see how it's going to go, like maybe I need to, just get to the door, but I'm not going to do it today, or like build up the courage. So that could be interesting.
What else could be shy?
Shy bladder.
Yeah. From the Mario games, you got the Shy Guys. They're the ones in the mask. What if one of them was
was trying to get a warranty claim?
Well, I'm not even a warranty claim. I'm thinking that
on their, what do they have?
On their masks, like their mask got broken. And now they're just trying to get a warranty claim on that. No, I think what you could actually do is you could have sort of like a Mario game where like they're just misunderstood.
Is there a game where shyness can be a mechanic? Specifically, like being spoken to, I don't know. Shyness is an interesting,
it really is
thing. I think
we click again.
Yeah.
No, we're not touching that one with a 50-foot pole. Sauce.
Sphere. The sauce sphere.
Now, this is sauces in tomato sauce.
Yeah.
So not
Good.
even.
No, that's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
I'm picturing a sphere of sauce.
Yeah.
In space.
In space. Yes.
In space, no one can hear you sauce.
Exactly.
You sauce in space, you fly backward. To paraphrase Griffin Malboro.
Oh, God.
No, okay. I like the idea of something to do with like anti-gravity liquids.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the idea of barbecues in space. That's fucking hilarious to me. Like
squeezing sauce from across the ship.
And you just see it sort of
like wriggling out and then coalescing into a sphere as it loses momentum.
As they, you see the guy with the snag in the bread just trying to like, just trying to drag it out of the air. There's something about that. And just how the fuck would you actually cook in space? Like, now I'm just imagining like, you've got like the gas canisters sort of floating up around here and flames sort of, the barbecue's just floating and you try to keep the snags actually on the
HMS Bunnings, and we don't have to worry about the onions being on the top because you can't slip on them in space.
There's no top, there's no bottom.
Yeah.
Like it just is.
That's why they're in space, so that they can get around the onion rule.
I prefer them on the bottom anyway. Like
I don't eat onions on sausage on snags. So
blasphemy.
sorry, did I just end the podcast? You can't.
I know that you don't. I know that you don't like onions and nor mushrooms.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do an onion now, but I'll have it on a burger or something. But in general,
you don't eat it. But mushrooms can go fuck right off.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's no mushrooms in this.
Just like with me, there's no cilantro or no coriander because fuck that shit.
No coriander.
Yes, it tastes like soap. Yes, I've got the gene.
So I don't know. Where can we? You could do this in VR.
Yeah,
to get a sense of that space.
I don't know why, but it just tickles me that everyone lining up is wearing like helmets, but they're getting snags
and just
they mash
them into
the helmet.
That's pretty good.
There's something about that makes me laugh.
So you're not even in the HMS Bunnings, you're outside it because that's where you do the sausage sizzle.
Yeah.
And you've just got these customers coming up in their spacesuits. And you're trying to keep these sausages on the grill in zero gravity.
The sausages on the grill.
This is how we know this fucking podcast has been going on too long. I feel like we've done sausages in anti-gravity before.
I don't think we have.
Maybe not, but I'm having a deja vu on it.
I just love the idea.
We've definitely done a
Bunnings
sausage sizzle game, though.
Yes,
okay.
We've done a sausage sizzle game, but I don't think we've ever done it in space.
In space,
and there's something about it that just is tickling me in just
Absolutely.
the right way.
Welcome to the late stage Bitstorm, where it's all of our previous ideas pinned with in space pinned on the end.
I mean,
or in the part, or in the future, or
which means that we must be into what is it, like the fourth? Because Leprechaun 4 was in space.
Right, yeah. Yes.
It's around that time of the sequels.
We've jumped the space shark, essentially.
Yes. Okay. What else needs to happen in this game? Like, obviously, one of your hands needs to be a
Barbie mate.
The Barbie mate.
Yeah.
For those people who don't know what a Barbie mate is, like
it's a combination spatula,
knife, and fork. It's got like on one side it's got like the tines up the
like
top.
A serrated,
it's got a blade. It's got a serrated part. It's got a very spatula-y thing. Yeah. And then the other side you got tongs.
Tongs, yeah.
Because they're the only two things that you fucking need. You can clean down a Barbie and turn sausages.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm actually loving the idea of tongs in VR, like as your tool. Yeah. Using the grip to open and close them. That feels really natural.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
Why is this not a thing yet? Like, can we hurry up and make the game? Because I want to
play with tongs.
Tongs in space.
And in space. Just grabbing snags out of the air.
Grab the snag and you've got to hold it there. But then, the gas has run out on the
Right. So you try to keep them still while you go get a new gas canister.
Yeah. The thing is, you can very easily just tap and the barbecue moves with you.
Right.
Like, it doesn't weigh anything.
That's true. But if the snags aren't attached in some way, they're going to stay where they were.
Put the hood down.
Ah, there you go.
See?
Yeah.
How did the hood stay attached though? Because that's just one of those loose fitting ones.
We're going these are very,
tape it down.
very accurately physically simulated barbecues from Bunnings, of course.
Bunnings,
cheap
yes.
one from Bunnings. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, just the fact that we're on the, did we say HMAS or did we say?
I said HMS. I don't know if that, Her Majesty's ship, is that what that stands for?
I don't know.
Or His Majesty's, I guess.
His Majesty's now. I love it. I really do. Just the HMS Bunnings. I mean, Bunnings with one N because you can't infringe on their copyright.
The HMS Hammer Barn.
Hammer Barn. That's fucking great. Okay, the HMS Hammer Barn.
Well, that's from Bluey. If you not watch Bluey, that's Bunnings in Bluey.
Okay.
Yeah. But we can go somewhere else. Screwshed.
Fuck yeah. That works so well with our podcast.
On very many levels, yeah.
Very many levels.
Just heading down to the Screwshed.
Yep.
Perfectly innocent reasons.
Screwshed is amazing. HMS Screwshed. And all you do there is you set up like Sort of like you set up a tent like sort of thing, and people line up. They've all got the helmets on.
They've all got the different stuff they've bought at the screw shed.
Yeah.
The screw shed or just screw shed?
Screw shed.
Yeah, okay.
Do you say the Bunnings?
Well, no, but because it's a noun then, because it's a shed. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, click.
Meter 10,000 instead of meter 10. It's saying how many kilometers above the earth you are. Or how many meters or whatever. Meter 100,000. There we go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think 10,000 is enough kilometers, enough meters above the earth to be in orbit. All right, 3, 2, 1, click. Corridor.
Lit.
Okay.
So, I mean, immediately when I read lit, I thought of Lewis Litt from Suits. And so this is...
I have not watched the show.
You have not watched Suits. Damn it. I thought that was going to be so cool. And we do a whole lawyer thing and them just walking down corridors. And
I went to a, like more of a tense horror thing.
It's a ray traced corridor. 100%.
Oh, because it's lit?
Because it's lit.
I mean, it's also lit like Gen Z slang. Is that Gen Z? I don't know.
I don't know. We're old. I mean, depending on which way you
Sunshine
read.
Playing. Is that who did that? No. There's a band called Lit who had a big 2000s hit. I don't know. Remember what it is. Steal My Sunshine. Won't you steal my? Is that Lit? Anyway. No, but I was thinking about a loop, like a corridor that goes forever.
Yeah.
And you've got, doors on either side or whatever. But every time you get to that door again, like something's changed or like you're furthering the conversation there. Like it's this sort of
it kind of feels
liminal space between things.
Feels a little Stanley Parable.
Yeah, maybe. But I wasn't thinking as satirical. I was thinking, you open door H95 and there's someone who lives there. And they don't know anything about this place. They just live there. This is just their place. And you talk to them a bit and then they ask you to, then it's like, okay, whatever. And you move on. But then like 20 doors down, it loops back to that door and you talk to them again.
But you've only been going forward.
Yeah. You've only been going in one direction.
You can try going backwards, but it's dark back there and you don't want to go into because as you go, like
the lights are coming on
lights in the future.
Yeah.
And then you go past it. And as soon as you go past it, you turn around and the light's off. Like
it's a metaphor
for only move
that you can only move forward in life.
What I do like is it's then a period in time further.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like they recognize you, like you're mean. It's not like it's sort of just a way to create these meetings or these situations that progress each time. But maybe they start to influence each other in some way, or you learn more about one by what you later learn from, an earlier one that you spoke to or whatever. Like, yeah, you could write some really interesting sort of just stories then.
Yeah. I do like the fact that, you knock on any of the other doors and that no one's answering. Then
it's only,
you go up a little bit further and you can't quite see it coming up. But when you say goodbye to this person, as you go, you actually see light spilling out from their door because the door's open.
Well, yeah, I think so when you get up there,
you can actually maybe something has happened in between you last talking.
That's it. I think, you might see maybe all the doors have the little like slits in them that you can push to the side or whatever. Yeah. And so sometimes you'll see someone looking out as you pass. They close it as you walk towards them. They don't answer when they knock. Yeah. But like the third or fourth time you come across that door, like it's ajar.
Yeah.
And you have a situation, you find out more about this person. It's kind of just finding out about these people's lives and also figuring out then how the fuck you got here and what this place is. And is
it purgatory? Is it something else? Like, are you here because of punishment? Are you
in the mind of an elder god who,
is this that whole egg story? And it's, you've read that, haven't you?
Oh,
about the guy who lives through every single person.
Yeah, that person is every single person. Yeah.
Which again, I that is such a cool way of thinking.
Oh yeah, it's a fun little thought experiment.
Who
wrote that?
I don't remember. I remember reading it, going, "Oh fuck!" Like
it's someone who's written a bunch of other. Anyway, I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. And I mean, that's a really interesting low scope kind of thing as well, particularly because you could even do just like
Minimal
visual
assets.
novel-esque or something as you do full 3D as you're going through, because that's an interesting thing. But like, yeah, minimal assets there, and you're just turning on the light. Like after a certain point, it's full black, so you can manage all the like looping stuff really, really well.
Now, after a while, like you've had fluorescence the whole time.
Oh,
and then all of a sudden
start to change.
There's a like a sconce on the wall that's lit.
Yeah.
And it's like, and just for a little bit, there's like castle-esque brick on the wall, and then changes back to plaster.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like there's that thing of whereabouts are we?
Yeah.
And
somehow
as you go,
there's
that section that keeps on coming back that is just castle wall and a castle door, sort of like it's got I can't remember the name of it. Yeah. Portcullis,
yes. Starboard cullis.
It's just it's just got a portcullis on.
Yeah.
And that's in the same place of
opens.
Someone who has since moved out, and now it's like that door is no longer appears because you finished their story, but now you got a different door there. And
just having those sorts of changes that, you start recognizing, oh, this person's door's got like a hole where someone kicked it because there's some sort of domestic violence, thing going on in their story or whatever. And so you recognize that door as you come across it each time. They don't always open.
And then you
knock.
see that door and it doesn't have a hole in it, and you knock on it.
It's been patched or something.
Well, I don't even think it's been patched. I think during that particular interaction, the hole gets kicked in the door, and now it's like, oh, this is when that hole got kicked in the door, sort of thing. And
okay, that's interesting. You're not necessarily visiting them in linear time. You're popping into their lives at different points.
And you're just there to
That's
sort of
cool. That adds some interesting depth to it. Yeah,
because then it's like, oh, something I say in the future now, sort of contradicts something that happened in the past that I didn't know about.
Yeah.
And it's actually going to set them on like the wrong path. So how do I actually try and fix that?
And I mean, maybe there's no way to do it. Maybe that's just the story, and it's just an interesting way to tell that story. But definitely having that context revealed by visiting it out of order is kind of cool.
There's something about this guy is just like the caretaker. And effectively all he does is he walks up and down, just walks down the corridor and appears to like help out every now and again. And it's sort of that sort of thing of, at first there's just that one door. And then after you sort of go through the tutorial sort of thing, which is just this one person throughout time.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting too then. That the door, that you start getting new doors or other doors start to disappear as these people either don't need you anymore or something's happened to them or the story's shifted. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And just, you can play with.
What a great, like, platform for a really, like, good writer to build upon.
Yeah.
I'd love to work with a writer on that who's got some cool ideas about who could actually write those ideas and help them bring something like that to life.
Oh, you come across this door and you see the peeling wallpaper and like the paint is, all cracked and like, so you knock on that door and, it's set early on, but the number, like you recognize that number from some other time that.
Well, and you could even have almost not the full-on gameplay of it, but like some Obra Dinn-esque aspects where you're filling in, you've got your little like workbook or something that you're filling in with the different people that you need to, who lives at this house or whatever, and at what time did they live there, I was also thinking, you come up and you come to what was a familiar door, but it's like charred and blackened and completely burnt out. And it's like you try to open it, it just like crumbles into ash. It's like, whoa, what the fuck happened here? Like just having these moments of, change to people who now you're somewhat familiar with. That's really cool. I like that a lot.
How are we looking for time?
I think we're done.
Yeah. That's very good. That was a strong one to end on. Like,
I feel like there's a lot of
fun bits in that.
Yeah,
like
potential. A lot of potential there.
Yes.
For story. Cool. So if you'd like to find all of our previous episodes, go to podchaser.com/Bitstorm. You can find them all there. We're also on YouTube now. Just search for Bitstorm. I think we come up. And our new episodes are being released there. Audio only at the moment. We might do some video down the line.
We want to dabble in it, but there's a bit of work.
It's a lot of work. You don't need to see our blurry faces on our shitty
blurry,
cameras. And
freaking bearded faces.
we look like every other white guy out there with a podcast. So just imagine that.
Yeah, just with healthy beards.
Yeah.
And Ben has healthy hair, and I've got little.
That's it. Your beard's healthier than mine, but my hair's healthier.
Pretty much.
Kind of like the opposite of each other.
Yeah, I'm you upside down, except grayer.
Yeah.
I'm all of 9 months older than you, or whatever it is.
Something like that, yeah.
7, whatever. Okay, if you like the song that we play at the start and end of each episode, the reason why we can play it is because we played on that album originally. The song is called Bountifiers of the album Containment Failure by the band Kuradust, and they can be found at kuradust.bandcamp.com. You can get it all for free. You can download the whole album. You can even get, I'm pretty sure, the 2012 reunion sessions are there. There's like there. 2 songs there. Like that's
3, I think.
3? I can't remember. Blue Girder's there.
Colour now. That's right. So thank you again for joining us this week on Bitstorm. I'm Ben Slinger.
I'm Trevor Scott.
And I'll have onion on the top.
And the bottom. And
all
all around.
I'll have an onion sphere.